intro music. Yeah! Woohoo!
Welcome back to the channel, Star Trek Fleet Command fans. Today, got a couple things to talk about you as Star Trek Fleet Command is trying to revamp some of the things that have become normal here in the game, as in Alliance tournaments are getting a small revamp, and they're changing or experimenting with how they're doing their officer sourcing LBs and events. And
stop spending your money on stupid.
This video is going to tell you what that looks like, give you some of the tips, tricks, etc., and honestly gather your thoughts and feedback on what you think this is going to look like. Do you think this is going to be better or worse? I want your honest take, honestly, because, well, we're going to be able to tell them, look, don't give me your feedback in the tea until we actually get through it. But let's start with what it's going to look like. So, number one, let's talk about the new Spring Choice Recruit SLB. Now, the good news for me, at least hopefully for you as well, is that this is an SLB, choose your own officer, not an XSLB. So normally every weekend we'll have an SLB that they want you to dump all your mats into. That's normal. And then to do that, you win an officer. However, they're changing it up with a choice system, combining the idea of an event store with the SLB. Now, will this be worth participating in? Well, I'll let y'all determine. Let's read about it together. Here first, we have an exciting new Spring Choice SLB event heading your way, March 29th. So at the time of this video, 4 days away. Also, you're going to have the new Alliance Tournament Grandmaster Edition. We'll talk about that in the second half of this video, launching tomorrow, March 26th. What is the Spring Choice SLB? So, unique spin on the typical weekend officer recruit, where you'll spin refined materials or gas crystals to climb the leaderboard. Higher you place, the more Spring Choice Recruit tokens you'll earn. Number one thing I'm going to say is early feedback. This needs to have a coinciding SMS. Obviously, the SMS earning less currency, but I think there should be an SMS. However, they can be redeemed in the Spring Choice Recruit event store. There'll be a small event store that you can see several different officers from. If you claim the top spot, so number one gets a full unlock. Now, immediately, yes, I'm going to dislike that you have to probably spend a lot more materials to get a full unlock. Now, what are the officers available? We got Special 7, Soren, Starfleet Q, Amira Picard, Amira Kira, Carol Freeman, 79, Dr. Tiana. Lots of PvP officers. But what I like is choice. I like that. So whether I earn 5 shards or whether I earn 20, it's choice. Now I'm going to go ahead and say this out in the open in the very beginning. Obviously, this is going to be one really geared towards heavy PvP players and is probably going to drive a lot of spending, at least in terms of a lot of mat dumping. You will have more officers coming out this upcoming month, so bear in mind whether that's valuable to you. However, these are very good officers. In fact, you know, having a Amira Picard, Amira Kira can be quite nice. I don't really use Amira Kira, but the fact that you can choose which ones you want, I think might appeal to a lot of people. Especially for me, Dr. Tiana, just because I've really struggled. Of all the ones on the list, Dr. Tiana I struggled the most with in terms of acquisition. So with that, you have now the option and the potential to choose which one you want based on where you score. I love this as an idea. Here's how I would further refine it. Continue with this process. Coinciding SMS. If you complete the SMS, let's just say you earn 10 epic shards. I mean, there are epic officers, right? You earn 10. Sure, that's not an incredible amount, but if you really want to incentivize all of us doing it, you got to give me an SMS down in the comment section below. Will you agree with that? Do you disagree? Give me your thoughts. Whatever. But I do want to know. But I truly think there needs to be at least an SMS for 10, 15, maybe even 20 shards. Again, some of these have a lot more than 100 that they need, but that's the basic idea. Now we have coordinating your alliance for tournaments, an update. There's a video here. I'll include small segments of the video in here, but a couple things to note. Number one, we got our announcement. We got the new alliance tournaments starting and Spring Choice. Now, what are the big things in the new alliance tournament? So there's a couple of things that have changed, and obviously we can't see anything here in our game because, well, don't get to see previews, which is kind of silly. But in the store, you're going to see new things. For example, we've seen in the video, Jaylah and the Section 31 Discovery refit added. Now, what those are going to be available for, Adept, Apprentice, what league that is, can't really say for sure. But seeing those things added in, I think is a good thing because we've seen a lot of players requesting more additions to more things. Another good note is that a couple of the items that many of you like the most will not have a cooldown timer or limit. So the Kashara artifact and the Ferengi whip, both things that are highly sought after, highly requested, that will help your game both in PvP and PvE. Obviously, the free whip allowing you to source those time crystals, Thalaron radiation, and the red matter for PvP, but also the Kishara artifact. I have every stream that I do, whether on Twitch or YouTube, players asking, Rev, how can you do auto attacking? The free-to-play Kishara artifact. Now that one is available to Masters League. However, doesn't take away from how useful it is. Now, to be very clear, I'm not just trying to hype up the Alliance tournaments. There's already something that was said in the video that made my ears perk up and go, oh no. What was that? Special heroic events, and there's a regional Alliance leaderboard running with this one. So clearly they are trying to revamp the mechanic to get those higher end players to dump some cash in, which honestly, that's their prerogative. It's a game, it's here for profit, they're trying to make money. But it does worry me because one of the main complaints to Alliance tournaments as it stands right now is the accessibility, the availability of various events for the average player in free-to-play, whether you're a low spender or a non-spender, to be able to access and have the ability to actually go after and score the points and get the little bit of everything there. But again, a lot of information provided in the video. The big keys for me, and again, this channel, this YouTube video, tries to always focus on the general populace. We do get a little bit more specific in streams, but for the general populace, I do like certain things. Removing the cooldowns of the Kishara, removing the cooldowns of the Fringy Whip, giving access to very requested items. Yes, Jaylah has no real purpose in the game anymore. That doesn't stop people from always asking me, Jaylah sourcing when. Just like people ask about Tau and ask about the Shakedown Cruise. There are a lot of you out there who really enjoy these in terms of just collecting and you want to have it. I understand that. So here is your opportunity. Here is your chance. There's also going to be a special day one gift that you're going to want to claim. So if you've not already, go ahead and get ready to log in early. You don't want to miss it. That's specifically what they said in their official video. You don't want to miss it. So you might want to do that. One last thing, just to kind of keep with the thematics of this, they posted this on their website, Kolrami's War Game. So if you remember, this is actually a really good episode of The Next Generation where Data prevails because, well, Data's Data. You know, he's the android Spock. Yes. So the idea of this is trying to revamp Alliance tournaments to make it not necessarily more difficult, although there will be tasks that are more difficult, but to really drive this in another direction, keep it fresh, keep it fun. You know, all the buzzwords you're used to hearing from various HR departments and everything, but that's the general idea. If you want to check this out, it really is just going through lore, and some of you might not care about this, but I will admit this is a nice touch for me. I do think that Star Trek games should do stuff like this. You should talk about it. You should actually invest in the lore. Good idea. But preparation is key. Study your strengths and weaknesses before you're tested. Surprises happen. Again, it's not telling you much. It's just more tying in the lore, the history into the game, which to me is a good thing. For those of you who don't care, that's fine. That's all I've got for you today. Live long and plunder. Stay safe with the Space Cowboys. Deuces, that's me. Catch you on the next Star Trek Fleet Command video. I'm out.
An even better outro than the intro. For the Empire and glory to your house.